No, I actually do. It's a
United.
long story. It's a long story. We were in London one, and I thought, okay, they'll look after us. There won't be any hassle getting in.
Could a single remark shake celebrity and royal circles alike? Insiders claim David Beckham politely turned down Meghan Markle's invite, focusing on his big royal honor with Princess Catherine. Is it loyalty, timing, or something deeper? Dive into the mystery. Tap that subscribe button for more breaking royal buzz. What a year it has been for David Beckham. In June 2025, all eyes turned to London as King Charles officially honored him with a knighthood, one of the highest recognitions anyone in the United Kingdom can receive. For a man who's already lived a life full of football triumphs, business ventures, and charitable work, this moment felt like a new peak. The ceremony itself was nothing short of unforgettable. Inside the grand walls of Buckingham Palace, David knelt gracefully before the king, dressed in a perfectly tailored suit that mirrored his signature style. Elegant but never over the top. When the ceremonial sword gently touched his shoulder, cameras captured a quiet smile that spoke volumes. Later, in brief interviews, David's voice cracked with emotion as he thanked Victoria, his children, and the millions of fans who have cheered him on through every chapter of his life. What makes this moment even more meaningful is how long it has been coming. David first received his OBE, Officer of the Order of the British Empire, back in 2003. For years, supporters wondered when the next step, the full Sir David title, might finally arrive. Some speculated that past business controversies had slowed things down. But in the end, Sade, what mattered most was his consistent record of giving back. From global campaigns fighting malaria to decades of charity work with UNICEF, he has quietly built a legacy of service that goes far beyond football. This knighthood didn't just celebrate athletic achievement, it was a salute to years of dedication to children's health, community programs, and inspiring young athletes. It confirmed what many already felt. David Beckham isn't just a former football star, he's a global ambassador for hope, teamwork, and persistence. And yet, even as he accepted this life-changing honor, something else was quietly unfolding. Behind the palace walls and the applause, another story was simmering. One that involved old friendships, unexpected invitations, and a decision that would have people talking far beyond the UK. Because while Sir David was busy stepping into this new royal chapter, a different kind of message was waiting for him. One that could have taken his public narrative in a completely different direction. David Beckham's bond with Britain's royal family didn't begin with a single ceremony or photo opportunity. It's a friendship that has grown quietly over decades. Long before the world began speculating about knighthoods and invitations, David was already a familiar, trusted figure in royal circles. Back in the early 2000s, when his football career was dazzling millions at Manchester United and later Real Madrid, David and Victoria were often spotted at charity events alongside Prince William. These weren't just brief encounters for the cameras. Friends recall long conversations where David and William shared experiences of life in the public eye, pressures of expectation, balancing duty with personal life, and staying grounded despite global fame. This mutual understanding deepened over time. When William married Catherine in 2011, the Beckhams were more than just celebrity guests. They were part of the inner circle that celebrated a landmark day for the future of the monarchy. Observers noted how comfortable David seemed, chatting easily with guests and offering heartfelt congratulations to the couple. For him, it wasn't about the spotlight. It was about friendship and respect. Over the years, that connection only grew stronger. David admired how Prince William and Princess Catherine managed to blend tradition with a modern family life, a balance he and Victoria valued deeply as parents. And Catherine, with her quiet elegance and commitment to causes like early childhood development, earned a special place in David's heart. When Catherine faced health challenges in early 2024, David didn't hesitate. Without fanfare or press releases, he made a private hospital visit to offer support. Those who witnessed it said it was a gesture that spoke louder than words, proof of a genuine friendship that went beyond formal events. This long history of trust and shared values is important because it quietly shaped the choices David would make later. His closeness to the royal family wasn't just a casual acquaintance. It was built on years of mutual respect and private acts of loyalty. And that loyalty was about to be tested in a way no one could have predicted, setting the stage for the next surprising turn in this unfolding story. Travel back to 2017, when Meghan Markle was newly engaged to Prince Harry and optimism filled the air. At that time, David and Victoria Beckham extended genuine warmth to the couple. They welcomed them at private dinners and reportedly offered help as Meghan adjusted to her new life in the United Kingdom. Victoria even shared fashion advice, while David admired Harry's charity work and sporting passion. Those early meetings carried the excitement of new friendships forming among high-profile figures who seemed to share a love for service and family. Photos of their interactions painted a picture of effortless camaraderie. It was easy for fans to imagine a future where the Beckhams and the Sussexes would collaborate on causes close to their hearts. But relationships in the public eye can be delicate. And while things appeared smooth on the surface, subtle strains began to appear, setting the stage for challenges that would test this new connection. As the months went by, whispers of tension emerged. Behind the smiles, rumors circulated about possible leaks to the press. Some reports claim Meghan suspected that details of private conversations were finding their way to tabloids and wondered whether the Beckhams were involved. David firmly denied any involvement, but trust had already started to erode. By the time Harry and Meghan's wedding celebration arrived in 2018, the signs of change were public. David and Victoria attended the ceremony with grace, yet the couple did not receive an invitation to the more intimate evening reception. For longtime royal watchers, it was a quiet but unmistakable signal that something had shifted. Over the following years, the friendship cooled. Shared appearances grew rare, and supportive gestures that once felt natural began to fade. There were no dramatic statements, just a gradual retreat, the kind that often speaks louder than headlines. This quiet distance laid the foundation for what would later become one of the most talked about decisions of David Beckham's career. As time passed, both families focused on their own projects, and the contrast between their approaches to fame and storytelling became clearer. In 2023, David Beckham released his much-anticipated Netflix documentary. It was a runaway success, praised for its authenticity, its heartfelt look at his football journey, and the personal stories of perseverance and family values that resonated worldwide. Critics and viewers alike celebrated the project, with awards and glowing reviews following quickly. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan's own Netflix docuseries met with a more mixed reception. While it generated conversation, some viewers felt it lacked the spark and sincerity they had hoped for. Then came a lighter but surprisingly viral moment, the so-called Jam Wars. Meghan's lifestyle brand launched with a charming segment featuring homemade strawberry jam, a symbol of simple, joyful living. Not long after, David playfully introduced Beck Jam, a homemade plum preserve video featuring Victoria's witty narration. Fans loved the fun, and social media buzzed with jokes about playful competition. Though lighthearted on the surface, these contrasting successes highlighted deeper differences in how each household approached their public image. And these differences would quietly influence David Beckham's response to a significant invitation waiting just around the corner. Early in 2025, while the excitement of his Netflix success was still fresh, another proposal quietly landed in David Beckham's inbox. According to entertainment insiders, Meghan Markle's production company, Archewell, reached out with a thoughtful request. They were developing a warm, lifestyle-focused Netflix series called As Ever Moments, meant to feature cozy conversations, family recipes, and personal stories of balancing public life with private joy. The invitation, as sources describe it, seemed tailor-made for David. It highlighted his years of balancing a global career with being a devoted father and husband. It even suggested weaving in his well-known charity work, an appealing angle for someone who values giving back. On paper, it looked like a perfect collaboration. Meghan would gain a global sports and style icon to draw viewers, while David could reach new audiences in North America. But behind the friendly language of the email, David couldn't help noticing the complicated history that came with it. The memories of past misunderstandings and that quiet wedding reception exclusion still lingered. Over dinners with close friends, he reportedly wondered aloud why the outreach was coming now, after years of limited contact. Was it simply timing, or an attempt to rekindle a friendship for the sake of a show? Rather than answer quickly, David took his time. He spoke with advisors, weighed his many UK commitments, and reflected on what mattered most to him. This wasn't just another TV appearance. It touched on personal loyalties that ran deep. After careful thought, David chose a gracious but firm response. His team sent back a note thanking Meghan for the kind invitation, but explaining that his schedule was fully committed to UK-based projects. It was respectful, professional, and left no room for drama. Privately, however, one remark captured everyone's attention. An associate close to the Beckhams later shared that, in a moment of light conversation, David had smiled and said, "I don't know her." The phrase, brief and almost playful, sparked immediate fascination once it circulated. Fans debated whether it was a simple joke, a way of saying the friendship no longer existed, or a gentle signal that he had moved on. Social media lit up. Memes paired his homemade Beckham video with captions like, "When Sir David says no," and posts speculated on what the quip really meant. Some saw it as a quiet mic drop, others as a humorous brush-off without malice. Through it all, David remained composed. There were no interviews to clarify or fuel the gossip. Instead, he stayed focused on upcoming events tied to his new title of Sir, letting actions, not extra words, tell the real story. Only weeks after politely declining the invitation, David made his first major public appearance as Sir David Beckham, and the setting spoke volumes. He and Victoria attended a July 2025 garden party, supporting the Royal Foundation's Early Childhood Development Initiative, one of Princess Catherine's signature projects. The event was intentionally low-key but full of warmth. Guests gathered outdoors under soft summer skies, discussing programs that help children and families. David's name badge proudly read, Sir David Beckham, and his calm, approachable presence drew quiet admiration. Attendees described moments where he praised Catherine's dedication, calling her the heart of the family, and highlighting how her resilience inspired him. For Catherine, still regaining strength after a challenging health period, this show of friendship meant a great deal. For the public, it felt like a clear statement. Without a single sharp word about Meghan, David underscored where his loyalties lay, standing beside the future queen and the causes she champions. Even Victoria seemed to echo the mood. Her outfit reflected Catherine's understated elegance, subtly reinforcing the shared respect and solidarity. Rather than chasing Hollywood collaborations, the Beckhams chose to spend their time here supporting long-term charitable work at home. This appearance didn't just celebrate David's knighthood, it transformed the honor into something larger, a public reaffirmation of deep friendships and enduring values that have guided him for years. The ripple effect of David Beckham's quiet choices was immediate. Social media platforms buzzed with excitement as the phrase, "I don't know her," trended worldwide. Memes popped up comparing Meghan's strawberry jam launch to David's playful Beckham moment, with captions like authentic versus overproduced short clips of his garden party appearance, name badge gleaming with the word Sir, quickly gathered millions of views. Newspapers and entertainment sites filled with commentary. Some headlines hailed him as the People's Knight, celebrating his steady character and long-standing commitment to family and tradition. Others dissected the subtle symbolism of his actions, declining a glitzy invitation from across the Atlantic while stepping confidently into roles tied to Britain's future monarchy. For many fans, the contrast between David's quiet dignity and the sometimes high-drama narrative around Meghan's media projects felt striking. Comments poured in praising his focus on genuine friendships and meaningful causes. Even those who rarely follow royal news found themselves drawn to the story of a world-famous athlete choosing loyalty and long-term values over quick headlines. Through all the noise, David remained steady. He shared only simple posts of gratitude for the knighthood and the chance to support children's charities. No pointed statements, no interviews to stir debate. His calm approach only amplified the sense that this was about principles, not publicity. When we look beyond the excitement, a bigger pattern emerges. David Beckham's choices represent more than a single declined invitation. They point to a shift in how global celebrities engage with royalty and fame itself. In the past, many high-profile figures might have seized every royal connection for publicity, rushing to appear in glamorous collaborations regardless of deeper meaning. But David charted a different path. He showed that long-lasting relationships and authentic service can matter more than quick exposure. By supporting Princess Catherine's early childhood initiatives, he reinforced a shared belief in steady, meaningful work over spectacle. His actions mirrored the qualities that earned him a knighthood in the first place: persistence, dedication, and care for community. This approach also strengthens the royal family's image. Rather than aligning with fast-changing trends, David stood beside those who embody continuity and quiet progress. It sends a message that real influence doesn't have to shout. It can be built patiently through trust and shared purpose. For younger viewers and aspiring athletes, the takeaway is powerful. You can embrace opportunity without abandoning your core principles. Success can be about depth, not just visibility. As the buzz settles, one thing is clear. David Beckham has drawn a line that many will remember. By graciously stepping away from a high-profile invitation and celebrating his knighthood alongside Princess Catherine, he reminded the world that fame doesn't have to mean saying yes to everything. The story raises intriguing questions. Is this the start of a new era where celebrities value authenticity and enduring friendships over headline-grabbing alliances? Could this mark a shift in how the next generation of stars build their careers and personal lives? What's certain is that David's decision resonated far beyond football fans or royal watchers. It spoke to anyone who believes in loyalty, careful choices, and staying true to what matters most. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. Do you think David Beckham's response sets a new standard for balancing global fame with personal values? Or do you see it as a unique moment only he could create? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoyed exploring the story of quiet strength and thoughtful decisions, don't miss our next deep dive into other inspiring royal and celebrity friendships. Tap subscribe and stay with us as we uncover more stories where integrity meets influence.